Yeah, so hi guys. I hope you all know me. So my name is Ankit and I teach class 12th maths. So I have an Instagram page which is 12th Math Mentor. So I think most of you have came through that only and few of the students have also come through my YouTube. So in this class we're going to discuss about continuity and differentiability in detail, and the main focus of this class is to make you all understand the concept of continuity and differentiability, because what I have seen is that most of the students know how to solve continuity and differentiability question, but they don't have a basic understanding what exactly is continuity and what exactly is differentiability. So in this class, we will try to understand the exact concept of continuity and differentiability, and we'll try to apply those concepts in any question. Roshan, please mute yourself. Yes. So if you want to say something, I'll give you time. You can say in that time, but in the meanwhile, if I'm speaking, please, I expect everyone to mute yourself. Otherwise, you will be blocked from the meeting. So in this class, we basically focus on understanding and building the concepts, and I'll show you how you can apply those concepts. If your concepts are pretty good, you can crack any question, no matter how tough the question is of continuity and differentiability. So I'll try my best to explain you all the concepts related to continuity and differentiability, and then we'll also solve some questions like especially the PYQs, where we'll see how we approach the question and how you can maximize your marks. And I will also show you how you have to write the answer in your board examination so that you practice in that way from now onwards. Because if you think that in 1 month, in the last 15 days, you will get to understand how to write the answers, then it won't work. So these all are, like, you can see what you will learn today. So concept clarity plus board level application, PYQs, most common mistakes to avoid, live Q&A, and obviously you'll get some bonus. So whatever notes I'm gonna write on the screen right now, I'll send you all those links. भाई ये सब आपका डिमांड कब खत्म होगा? मयंक, अंकित सर डेली एक चैप्टर की क्लास, और पहले जो क्लास कर रहा हूँ वो क्लास तो करो यार। अभी एक क्लास कर नहीं रहा हूँ कि आपकी डिमांड स्टार्ट हो गई हर संडे को आप मेरे लिए क्लास रखो। अभी जो क्लास कर रहा हूँ पहले उस क्लास पे फोकस करो ना, अभी पे फोकस नहीं कर रहे हो आप, अगले संडे पे फोकस कर रहे हो कि अगले संडे को मैं नेक्स्ट चैप्टर पढ़ाऊंगा। So guys, before we start this topic, so yeah, so before we start this topic, I want you all to tell me, have you studied limits in standard 11th? Yeah, now I think you can someone can mute and tell me if you have studied limits and what exactly is the meaning of limit and why do we study limit? Yeah, yes. Yes, guys. So most of you have learned studied limit. So can you tell me why do we study limit and what is the meaning of limit? Can anyone tell me? Like if you want to explain, you can unmute yourself and tell me, or you can raise your hand. I'll unmute you. So no, none of you understand knows the meaning of limit.
Approaching to nearer values of x.
Okay. What does that mean? Who spoke? What was your name? Yeah, Karthikeya, did you speak? Okay, guys, so I'll explain you. So when I say limit x tends to 1, x square plus x square minus 1 upon x plus 1. So when I'm saying x tends to 1, so the meaning of this is that x is approaching to 1. X is approaching to 1 and x is not exactly equal to 1, but x is approaching to 1. So x is going towards 1. So in limits, when we try to find out the value of this particular function, so that value is also the limiting value or approaching value. It's not the exact value. Exact value, when I say, for example, if I say that f of x is x square minus 1 upon x plus 1, and when I say f of 1, so f of 1 right now when you try to solve, so 1 square minus 1 upon 1 plus 1, so you will get 0. So uh, this is basically the exact value of the function, not the approaching value. But right now you need to understand in limits we are tending x to 1. X is not exactly equal to 1, but x is tending towards 1. So when I am saying x is tending towards 1, so that means the value of the function which you are getting is also a limiting value or the approaching value. It's not the exact value. I hope I am clear with to all of you. So basically you need to understand when I am saying x tends to 1, please understand this very carefully when I say x tends to 1. So if this is the number line, so here we have 0, here we have 1. So x tends to 1, so that tend can happen from the left hand side also, or that tend can happen from the right hand side also. So if that x is tending to 1 is happening from the left hand side, so that limit is called as left hand limit, and when it is happening from the right hand side, that is called as right hand limit, which is also called as RHL in the short form. So what do I mean by RHL and LHL? I'll just explain you a little bit more about it. So LHL, when I say x tends to 1 minus, so LHL is represented as 1 minus, and RHL is represented as x tends to 1 plus. तो 1 माइनस का मतलब है कि 1 जो है वो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड से अप्रोच कर रहा है, एंड द मीनिंग ऑफ 1 प्लस इज दैट x is tending towards 1 from the right hand side. So when I'm saying left hand side, that means x value may be like it may be like this 0.9, it may be 0.99, x equal to 0.999, x equal to 0.9999. So it is approaching from the left hand side, and when I am saying x tends to 1 plus, that means it is approaching from the left hand side. So that means it can be 1.1, 1.01, 1.001, 1.0001, and so on. So x value is never going to be exactly equal to 1, but x is approaching towards 1. In one limit, it is approaching from the left hand side, whereas in other limit, it is approaching from the right hand side. So if 1 is being approached from the left hand side, it's called left hand limit. And if 1 is being approached from the right hand side on the number line, it's called right hand limit. Am I clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
So this is exactly is the meaning of right hand limit and left hand limit. So now coming to our topic, so in continuity, so let's understand continuity first. Yeah, so when we talk about continuity, we need to understand the meaning of continuity first. What exactly is continuity, and how we are going to approach the questions of continuity in the exam. So another thing you all need to understand, guys, that I will tell you a very useful thing for your board exam preparation. So calculus is specially of 35 marks. Calculus is of 35 marks, whereas rest of other topics is of 45 marks. But what students do is that they waste a lot of time here in calculus. Like for example, out of 12 months, I have seen students wasting at least 7 to 8 months here. and then they think that in like rest of the topic whose weightage is more, they think they do it in 3 to 4 months. कौन बोल रहा है यार? Just give me 1 minute, guys. Let me just unmute everyone. Yeah. So calculus is of 35 marks, whereas rest of the topic is 45 marks. So a lot of guys, they waste a lot of time in calculus in for 7, 8 months, and rest of the time they give for rest of the topics, which according to me is not correct. Why it is not correct? Because you need to understand this calculus is a very broad topic, and you might not be able to score 35 out of 35 in it, even if you have worked hard. But one thing is 100% sure, that if you understand these topics properly, you can get 45 out of 45. That is guaranteed. In calculus, 35 out of 35 is not guaranteed. I'm not talking about like few students. I'm talking about the general population of students. So they're not able to score 35 marks in calculus all the time. So you're not supposed to waste a lot of time in calculus, but you need to work on these rest of the topics more. In calculus also, like if we talk about 7, 8 months, so 2, 3 months are gone in integration, especially. So when I'm saying integration, because obviously I know that integration is the toughest topic of all. So a lot of guys give a lot of time thinking that they will be able to score full marks in the exam. But in exam from integration, there is always going to be a very tricky question. So you are never sure about it. Obviously you can work hard, but not so much that because of integration, because of calculus, you are like getting your all other chapters are getting hampered. So this is what I am saying. So this is one of the most important thing you need to understand if you want to score like 90, 95 plus. This is one of the thing you all need to work on. Not waste a lot of time in calculus. Instead of wasting a lot of time in calculus, distribute your time equally in all other topics as well. Give importance to vectors, vector algebra, 3D geometry, probability, linear programming, uh, determinants, relation functions, inverse trigonometric functions. These chapters can easily fetch you 40 out of 45 marks, even if you have just practiced little bit and not worked very hard. Don't waste a lot of time in calculus. Yeah, so coming back to our topic, so continuity. Coming back to our topic is continuity. So basically you need to understand that whenever I give you a function, so y equals to x plus 1, so you can call it as f of x equal to x plus 1. So any function can be represented on graph. So when I am saying any function can be represented on graph, so if I give you any function, it can be represented on graph. So this is a linear function. So when you will plot it on a graph, it's going to be a straight line. Whereas if I say f of x equal to x square plus 5, so this is a quadratic function. So when you will represent it on a graph, you will get a parabola. So if I say f of x equal to x cube plus x square plus x plus 1, so this is basically a cubic function. So when you will plot it on a graph, it is going to be a different kind of graph. So all the functions, what I'm trying to say you here is that can be represented it on a graph. And when I say continuity, continuity का एक बहुत ही सिंपल सा मीनिंग है नो ब्रेक इन द ग्राफ. For example, if y equals to f of x is a function given, you plotted it on a graph and you got a graph like this. Let's say this point is ax equal to a and this point is x equal to b. So if there is no break in the graph between a and b, then we will say that f of x is continuous from a to b. You can see that the graph is smooth and there is no break. But let's say the graph is like this. So the function graph which you drew, it has a break like this, which is at x equal to c. So I will say that, okay, Initially, I will say that when the graph is like this, I will say that since there is no break in the graph between x equal to a and x equal to b, so therefore f of x is continuous from x equal to a to x equal to b. But now let's say you plotted a graph and there is a break at this particular point. So this is my x equal to b, this is x equal to c, and this is x equal to a. So you can clearly see here that there is a break in the graph at x equal to c. So we will say that this particular function is not continuous at x equal to c as there is a break in the graph. Yes, so so this basically you need to understand in a graph, if there is a break, then it's called not continuous at that particular point, and when there is no break, that means the graph is continuous in that particular domain. So you can see that right now I checked between A and B. So in this particular domain, the graph was smooth, there was no break, hence the graph is continuous. Whereas in this particular if for this particular graph y equals to f of x, you can see there is a break at x equal to c between the domain of the graph, which is x equal to a and b. Hence the graph is not continuous between a and b, and the discontinuity point is x equal to c. Yeah guys, so if you want to ask anything, you can ask me right now. Yes.
What exactly discontinuation of function means?
Discontinuous on a function means that the graph has a break.
Means at that point there will be no value of x for which the function is continuous.
Yeah, means there when we will draw the graph of particular function, so the graph is not going to be continuous in that particular point. There is going to be a break. You can clearly see here that in this particular region there is a break of the graph, right? The graph is not continuous. Hence, at x equal to c, the graph is not continuous. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Sir, any constant is continuous or discontinuous?
Any constant as in?
Any constant is discontinuous or continuous?
Any constant? What? Any constant? Like what you are
Constant
trying to say?
function, I guess.
Sir, any number
Any number?
without variable, yes.
So any constant function you are talking about.
Yes, sir.
So obviously any constant function is continuous throughout. If you draw the graph of a if you draw the graph of a number, for example, if I ask you to draw the graph of y equal to 3, so how will the graph of y equal to 3 will look? Can you tell me?
It would be parallel to x-axis.
Yes. So is there any going to be break in the graph?
Not really.
Then how can it be discontinuous? It is going to be continuous throughout, right? So okay. So another thing, if I ask you, so like if I give you any particular line ka graph, any particular equation, so y equals to 3x plus 5. So what does this function represents? Can
1
anyone?
degree polynomial.
Sorry?
1 degree.
What does this represent on the graph?
Straight line.
Straight line. Yes. So it's a straight line. So is it going to be continuous throughout?
Yes.
Yes. So whenever you see a linear function, that means it's always going to be a continuous function throughout its domain. So when I say domain, so domain is basically all the acceptable values of x in that particular function. So for example, I'll explain you because a lot of guys asked in the chat. So domain is, let's say, f of x equal to x plus 1. So in this function, we can put any value of x and we'll get the output. So the domain of this particular function would be negative infinity to positive infinity. But if I say f of x equal to 1 upon x plus 1, so you need to understand that x equal to negative 1, if I put here in the denominator, it will make the denominator 0, right? Hence the function, basically the domain of this particular function is not negative 1. All real numbers will be its domain except negative 1. Because at negative 1, this function is attaining 1 upon 0 form, which is not, like, it cannot be defined. So domain is all
71675.
sorry. Yeah, 1 minute. So if we talk about the continuity condition, so I hope you are clear with continuity meaning. So continuity meaning is there has not to be any graph in the any break in the graph of the function. Continuity at a point when I say I don't understand why can't you all just listen to me properly? Why you all are writing on the screen? So when I say continuity at a point, so function f of x is said to be continuous at a point a of its domain if f of x exists and equals f of a. Who is this David? Just give me 1 minute, guys. Let me just remove few guys from the meeting. David कौन है इधर? Yeah. So a function f of x is said to be continuous at a point a of its domain if f of x exists and equals f of a. So what do I mean by this is that limit x tends to a plus f of x must be equal to limit x tends to a minus f of x equals to f of a. So this is basically the definition of a continuous function. So what exactly it means is that, let's say you drew the graph of a particular function. So this is my x equal to a, where you want to check its continuity. So what I'm trying to do here is that I'm trying to find the function ka limiting value from a plus. A plus means from right hand side. So I'm trying to find the limiting value of the function from the right hand side, then a minus f of x, then I'm trying to find the limiting value of the function from left hand side, and I am also trying to find f of a. F of a means at exactly f of a, what exactly is the value of function. So you need to understand that if all of these three values are equal, then obviously there is no going to be any break in the graph at x equal to a, hence f of x will be continuous at x equal to a. So you need to understand this condition as per this graph. Why we are doing this? Because a lot of guys know how to prove a function continuous, but they don't have any idea like why they are doing this. So basically we are doing limit x tends to a plus f of x equals to limit x tends to a minus f of x equals to f of a. तो बेसिकली एट x इक्वल टू a अपन ये चेक कर रहे हैं कि लेफ्ट हैंड साइड से राइट हैंड साइड से एंड एट x इक्वल टू a अगर ये तीनों वैल्यूज इक्वल होगा देन ओनली वी कैन से दैट कि याद देयर इज नो ब्रेक इन दैट ग्राफ, hence the function is continuous at x equal to a. So this is basically the geometrical meaning of continuity, which we prove algebraically using this particular thing. Am I clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I've opened the chat box. You all can tell me like if you understood this particular topic, like the meaning of continuity and why do we apply this particular formula. Okay, great guys. Everyone is saying yes. If you have not understood anyone, please tell me. Yeah, Vinas, I'm coming on the example. Don't worry about it. Obviously, I'll give you an example. So right now I've just explained the topic. So it is very important for all of you to understand why do we use this particular formula for continuity. Only memorizing the formula won't work at all. Because in competency based question you will always see that since 2023 2024 there are a lot of twist and turn questions are coming. No direct questions are being asked in the exam now. So when the function value is approaching from the left hand side, right hand side, it's and the function value at exactly f of a, it's going to be a continuous function because we checked कि left hand side से भी उधर ही वहीं पे approach कर रहा है, right hand side से भी वहाँ पे ही approach कर रहा है, and at the same point also the value of the function is the same. Hence f of x is continuous at x equal to a, and that's why we use this particular formula. So now let's say we have to check how do we apply this particular thing. So let's say the question is show that f of x is continuous at, oh sorry, 1 minute. So let's say it's given in the question that f of x equal to x cube is continuous at x equal to 2. So how we are going to do it is that, please understand. So first of all, we'll find out the value of function at the given points. F of 2 will be equal to 2 cube, which is 8. And now we will find the right hand limit and left hand limit. So first we'll find limit x tends to 2 plus, and then we are going to find limit x tends to 2 minus. So now you all need to understand that limit x tends to 2 plus f of x and limit x tends to 2 minus f of x. So now what I do here is that I write it as limit h tends to 0. So when I say limit h tends to 0, this x gets replaced by 2 plus h. And when I say in the left hand limit, when I say limit h tends to 0, this becomes 2 minus h. Because you need to understand that in 2 plus the value of x is greater than 2, not exactly equal to 2, whereas in the left hand limit x minus 2, x tends to minus 2, the value of x is less than 2, not exactly equal to 2. Hence I am writing it as 2 plus h. 2 plus h का मतलब क्या है कि the value of x is little bit greater than 2 but h is tending to 0. And when I am saying 2 minus, so I am saying that the value of x is 2 minus h, which is little bit smaller than 2 and h is tending to 0, hence the value of x is approaching towards 2. So now if you just put it, so limit h tends to 0, 2 plus h ka whole cube, and it will be limit h tends to 0, 2 minus h ka whole cube. So here I can directly put the limit, so it will be 2 cube, which is 8, and here also I can directly put the limit, which is 2 cube equals to 8. Hence you can clearly see here that this value 8, this value 8 and this value 8 is exactly equal. So I will say that since limit x tends to 2 plus f of x equals to limit x tends to 2 minus f of x equals to f of 2, therefore f of x equal to x cube is continuous at x equal to 2. Am I clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll open the chat.
Clear.
1 minute. Yeah, so I've opened the chat, so if it is clear, you can just tell me. Okay. Guys, okay, एक मिनट में explain कर देता हूँ. See here, what I have done here is that just now in the beginning of the class, I told you that when x is tending to 2 plus, that means the x is tending towards 2 from the right hand side on the number line, and when I am saying x tends to 2 minus, that means 2 is being tended from the left hand side. So please understand that this is my number line, this is 0, and somewhere here on the right hand side will, so when I am saying x tends to 2 plus, so that means x is tending from the right hand side, and when I am saying x tends to 2 minus, x is tending from the left hand side. So you need to understand here that in this particular reason, when x is tending to 2 from the left hand side, the value of x is always going to be less than 2. So can I say that x equal to 2 minus h and h tends to 0? And for this, I can say that x equals to 2 plus h and h tends to 0. Because the value of x is greater than 2, that's why I am saying it's greater than 2, which is 2 plus h. And this side, the x value is less than 2, which is 2 minus h. And in both the cases, if I make h tends to 0, so I can replace x with 2 minus h for the left hand limit, and I can replace x with 2 plus h for right hand limit. Yeah, so now let's do some questions from the 95 plus bundle, which is extremely important. So these are all the PYQs. So discuss the continuity of the function f of x at x equal to 0 if f of x equal to 2x plus 1, sorry, 2x minus 1 when x less than 0 and 2x plus 1 when x is greater than equal to 0. So in this question you need to understand that कि clear हमें दिया हुआ है कि हमें we have to check the continuity of the function at x equal to 0. So what we are going to do here is that first we are going to find limit x tends to 0 minus f of x. Then we are going to find limit x tends to 0 plus f of x, and we are also going to find f of 0. अगर ये तीनों इक्वल होगा then clearly I will say that the function is continuous as per the condition. So f of 0 is how much? So you can see that कि when x is greater than equal to 0 हमारा function का जो value है वो 2x plus 1 है. So f of 0 will be 2 into 0 plus 1 which is equal to 1. And limit x tends to 0 minus का मतलब क्या है कि x जो है वो x का value जो है वो 0 से smaller है, छोटा है. So in that case we need to consider this one. So I can say that limit x tends to 0 minus 2x minus 1. So similar method जो मैंने बताया अभी we are going to use. So limit h tends to 0. Since it's 0 minus, so I'll replace x with h minus 0. So 2 into h minus 0. Sorry, 0 minus h. 2 into 0 minus h minus 1. So now you can substitute the value of h directly. So the answer for this would be -1. Now limit x tends to 0 plus 2x plus 1, because greater than 0 के लिए जो function का value है that is 2x plus 1. So यहाँ पे we will take 2x plus 1. यहाँ I have taken 2x minus 1 because x is tending from the left hand side, which means the x value is less than 0. So 2x minus 1 लिया है और यहाँ पे 2x plus 1 लिया है. So that means I can say that limit h tends to 0, 2 of 0 plus h plus 1. So you will substitute the value of 0 directly, you will get 1. So you can clearly see here that कि यहाँ पे जो वैल्यू था वो मुझे -1 मिला था, यहाँ पे 1 मिला है और यहाँ पे 1 मिला है, which is not equal. Hence the function is not continuous at x equal to 0. So I will say that since limit x tends to 0 minus f of x is not equal to limit x tends to 0 plus f of x is equal to f of 0. So therefore f of x is not continuous at x equal to 0. Okay guys, so you can tell me whether this question is clear to all of you in the chat.
सर एक बार और बता देना,
क्या बताऊं?
यही वाला कॉन्सेप्ट सर जो आपने आखिरी में बताया
अभी
था।
जब बता रहा था तो क्या कर रहे थे? Yes, Agam, please tell me. Yeah guys, everyone, is it clear to everyone? Agam, since the first thing you asked in the class before I
ठीक है।
started, किधर गया अगम? अगम ने क्लास स्टार्ट होने के पहले ही पूछा था कि सर क्लास कितने बजे तक चलेगा. तो इस क्वेश्चन से मुझे पता चल गया था योर कंसंट्रेशन क्या होने वाला है क्लास के अंदर. So if you're not concentrating, I'm not gonna explain that thing to you again and again. Yeah guys, so the next question which is extremely important, जो कि हर एग्जाम में आता ही आता है. एक मिनट चैट बंद करने दो यार. No, Suchit, there are no case where you don't have where like you cannot put limit directly. I'm coming on that, don't worry. So the question is, find the value of k for which f of x equals to kx plus 5 and x minus 1. So kx plus 5 is when x is less than 2 and x minus 1 is when x is greater than 2, is continuous at x equal to 2. So this question is from my 95 plus bundle, and the same question I think came in 2024 or like sorry, this year. Like not exactly same, but only the values were different, but it came. So find the value of k for which f of x equals to kx plus 5 when, and you all can see this question coming, this type of question coming every year in the exam. So क्या ड्रामा है यार, कौन अनम्यूट करता है?
Or mute everyone.
कोई है এটা আসবে কেন অন্যদিন আসলে
Divya Jyoti Bhaumik, why you are unmuting you again and again? Yeah, Samsung SM, you can unmute yourself. You can mute yourself, sorry. Yeah, so you have to find the value of k for which f of x equals to kx plus 5 is when x is less than equal to 2 and x minus 1 when x is greater than 2. So this is what is the question. So we have to find the value of k when this particular function is continuous at x equal to 2. यहाँ पे clearly you need to understand that since f of x is continuous at x equal to 2, so therefore limit x tends to 2 minus f of x equals to limit x tends to 2 plus f of x is going to be equal to f of 2. तो ये कंडीशन जो है वो ऑलरेडी ये क्वेश्चन सेटिस्फाई कर रहा है, बिकॉज क्वेश्चन के अंदर हमें क्लियरली गिवन है कि ये जो फंक्शन है दैट इज कंटिन्यूअस एट x इक्वल टू 2. तो ये we are just going to apply this particular condition and then we will find the value of k. So let's find the limit x tends to 2 plus f of x. So clearly you need to understand 2 plus f of x में x जो है वो x का वैल्यू जो है वो greater than 2 है, so we are going to take this particular thing which is x minus 2. So I can say that limit h tends to 0 f of 2 plus h, which will be equal to limit h tends to 0, so it was x minus 1, right? So it will be 2 plus h minus 1. So you can directly substitute the value, so you will get it as 1. So now limit x tends to 2 minus f of x is limit h tends to 0 f of 2 minus h, which means limit h tends to 0. So we write left hand limit के लिए we are going to take this value which is kx plus 5 because x less than equal to 2 के लिए ये value given है. So f of 2, so k into 2 minus h plus 5. So you can directly substitute the limit. So here you will get 2k plus 5. So now since the function is continuous, that means ये और ये जो है वो equal होगा. So I will say that 2k plus 5 equal to 1. Hence k equal to 1 minus 1 5 upon 2, which is negative 4 upon 2, which is negative 2. Hence k का value जो है वो negative 2 होगा when the function is continuous at x equal to 2. Yeah guys, so please tell me whether you understood it or not. I have opened the chat box. Only in the chat box. Yeah, Chris, tell me what do you want?
Sir, what is the purpose of taking limit h tending to 0?
To make it, because if x is tending to 2 plus, how will you substitute the value of x as 2 plus? Please tell me. Krish.
2 plus h.
No. I'm saying if x is tending to 2 plus, how will you put 2 plus directly in the question? 2 प्लस का मतलब क्या है? 2 प्लस का मतलब है कि x का जो वैल्यू है वो वेरिएबल है. इट्स नॉट like it is tending from the right hand side. So we need to make it, we need to get rid of that plus, and that's why we are converting it to h. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now there are few limit formulas which you need to also remember, which you have studied in grade 11. So limit h tends to, x tends to 0, sin x upon x is how much?
1.
1, correct. Tan x upon x?
Also 1.
Yes. तो ये formula जो है वो everyone has to remember, because in a lot of like question you might have to use this formula to solve the limit and find whether it is continuous or not. Okay? So I hope I am clear with the continuity part. If you have any doubts, you can just ask me in the chat. Yeah, I've opened the chat, so if you have any doubts in continuity till now, you can ask me. Yeah, Subham, please tell me. Cases as in what cases you are talking about, Krish?
Sir, taking LHL, RHL, and x greater than 2x less than 2, that way.
I did not understand your question.
Taking some case when the function is supposed 2x plus 5, when x is less than 2, then we take the case and solve.
No, okay, I got it. So now let's say I got your question. So let's say f of x जो है, that is x plus 5, when x is greater than 1, it's 2x plus 3 when x is between 1 and 3, and it's 3x plus 7 when x is greater than 3. ये क्वेश्चन है. So you all need to understand here that since all of these three functions are linear function, which is continuous in their domain. But you need to understand that कि ये जो function है वो जो हमारा combined function है ये f of x, for x greater than 1, sorry x less than 1 होगा यार वो, एक मिनट. For x less than 1 the value of function is x plus 5. Between x 1 and 3 the function is 2x plus 3, and between x greater than 3 के लिए it's 3x plus 7. तो इसमें कौन कौन से पॉइंट पे we will check the continuity?
1 and 3.
Why? One and three, why? See, guys, you need to understand here that why we are checking at 1 and 3. See, you need to understand these things. So x लेस देन 1 के लिए when you will draw x plus 5, तो वहां पे तो वो ग्राफ जो है वो कंटिन्यूअस ही होगा. Let's say this is a rough diagram. So let's say you draw, this is my 1, this is my 3. So x लेस देन 1 के लिए x प्लस 5 है, तो x प्लस 5 लेस देन 1 के लिए तो वो कंटिन्यूअस होगा, लेकिन जो नेचर ऑफ द फंक्शन इज चेंजिंग एट x इक्वल टू 1 और वो एक दूसरा लाइन ले रहा है, तो वी नीड टू चेक दैट कि ये जो लाइन है वो इस लाइन को ज्वाइन कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा है 1 पे. So that's where we're checking the continuity at x equal to 1. And similar thing will happen at x equal to 3 also. So this is the reason why we are checking the continuity at x equal to 1 and x equal to 3. Please understand this. Because the nature of the function is changing at those 2 points. If it's a linear function, we know that it is going to be continuous in throughout its domain. But at x equal to 1 क्या हो रहा है, लाइन का इक्वेशन जो है वो चेंज हो रहा है. So we need to see that कि उस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट पे ये जो 2x plus 3 लाइन है वो x plus 5 को ज्वाइन कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा है. सिमिलरली एट x इक्वल टू 3 पे ये 2x plus 3 का लाइन एंड 3x plus 7 का जो लाइन है वो एक दूसरे को ज्वाइन कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा है. दैट्स व्हाई वी आर चेकिंग द कंटिन्यूटी एट x इक्वल टू 1 एंड x इक्वल टू 3. एम आई क्लियर? Okay, guys. So yeah, this is the basic basic understanding of continuity what we did in the class. So, but yeah, you all need to practice a lot of questions. So obviously for questions you can use NCERT and you can buy the 95 plus bundle. I think that will be more than enough for all of you. Don't go for like too many books. So I'm not saying to buy my 95 plus bundle. You can use RD Sharma, RS Agarwal as per your preference, whatever you like. But you need to understand that you need to rely on one particular book. Don't just keep changing the book. But NCERT is the basic. But NCERT is not going to help you at all because the question levels have like, you can see 2025 ka question. Even when I saw the question paper first time, I was in shock. Like there are lots and lots of twist and turn. So that type of question you can't solve just by doing NCERT. So you need some other resource, and the other thing you all need to have a solid conceptual understanding. If you don't have a solid conceptual understanding, it's not going to work because the exam pattern is gradually changing, drastically changing every year. So you never know in 2026 में कैसा पेपर आएगा. Because अभी they are also trying to put competency based question more in the paper. Right now it's 50%, but I read a news where they are saying that they are planning for 60-65% competency based questions. So always remember guys, one more thing, that CBSE जो है वो कभी भी स्टार्टिंग में कुछ भी नहीं करता है. एग्जाम के 2 से 3 मंथ पहले, नवंबर अक्टूबर के मंथ में आपको पता चलेगा कि एग्जाम का पैटर्न जो है वो चेंज हो चुका है, ग्रेडिंग पैटर्न जो है वो चेंज हो चुका है, और वो रात को 12-1 बजे आता है न्यूज़ में, तो वो बहुत सारे बच्चों को वो पता भी नहीं चलता है कि ऐसा हो रहा है. So that's why you should have a proper resource, a proper backup plan कि हमें यहाँ से क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करना है प्रॉपरली. चाहे आप कोई भी बुक लो, उसमें प्रॉपरली आपको कॉन्सेप्ट बिल्डिंग पे वर्क करना है, कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड क्वेश्चन बहुत अच्छे से सॉल्व करना है जितना हो सके, क्योंकि 50% पेपर जो है वो कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड है. 50% पेपर, 80 में से 40 मार्क्स का पेपर जो है वो कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड है. तो वो एकदम अच्छे से करना है वहाँ पे, क्योंकि बहुत ज़्यादा ट्विस्ट एंड टर्न्स आ रहा है हर साल एग्जाम में. आप 2023 का पेपर देखो, जहाँ से 2022 2023 का जहाँ से ये सब स्टार्ट हुआ था, तो वहाँ पे वो थोड़ा मतलब मॉडरेट लेवल का था, लेकिन जैसे जैसे ईयर पास हो रहा है यू कैन सी दैट कि जो क्वेश्चन का लेवल है वो ड्रास्टिकली जो है वो मतलब कैसा क्वेश्चन आ रहा है वो, कि कोई टीचर कोई कुछ भी कोई एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर सकता है. आरडी शर्मा, यार आरडी शर्मा बहुत ज़्यादा, मतलब मैं सजेस्ट नहीं करता हूँ ट्वेल्थ बोर्ड्स के लिए। इट्स टू लाइक, वो बहुत ज़्यादा मतलब लेंदी है और टाइम कंज्यूमिंग है, तो आई पर्सनली डोंट लाइक इट। सो इट्स माई पर्सनल ओपिनियन गाइस, सो ऐसा नहीं है कि तुम लोग मेरी इसकी वजह से मुझे जज कर लो। इट्स माई पर्सनल ओपिनियन, आई डोंट सजेस्ट आरडी शर्मा, क्योंकि वो बहुत ज़्यादा है। अरे कौन है यार अलख पांडे? अपना असली नाम तो पहले लिखो यार इधर। अलख पांडे, प्लीज राइट योर ओरिजिनल नेम, अदरवाइज आई एम गोना। Yes guys, so this is all about continuity, but there are lots and lots of question. I hope I have cleared all of your concepts. So as per your, if your conceptual understanding is good, I think you can crack any question. So next thing is differentiability. Next thing is differentiability. So differentiability जो होता है वो, can anyone explain me the meaning of differentiability if you have studied? गाइस किसी ने भी डिफरेंशिएबिलिटी के बारे में कुछ भी पढ़ा है तो दे कैन टेल मी।
Rate of change of something with respect to something.
ये किधर, किसने पढ़ा है ये? हु स्पोक दैट? व्हाट इज द ग्राफिकल मीनिंग ऑफ डिफरेंशिएबिलिटी?
To finding the slope.
Slope of the graph.
व्हाट डज दैट मीन, स्लोप ऑफ द ग्राफ? See guys, you have to make it clear. You can just say that slope of the graph or rate of change of one thing with respect to another. Like you have to explain it in a little broad way. What do you mean by slope of the graph? What does that mean?
How the function is changing.
सी सिंपल सा मैं मतलब बता रहा हूँ, इतना कॉम्प्लिकेट नहीं करना है। डिफरेंशिएबिलिटी का मतलब है, होता है कि एफ ऑफ एक्स ग्राफ मीन्स, अगर मैं हिंदी में बात करूं तो एफ ऑफ एक्स के ग्राफ पे tangent कैन बी ड्रॉन और नॉट। इसका मतलब सिंपल सा ये है कि कोई भी फंक्शन का ग्राफ है, अगर अगर हम उस ग्राफ पे हर पॉइंट पे tangent ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं, इसका मतलब है कि वो फंक्शन जो होगा वो पूरे के पूरे डोमेन में अपना डिफरेंशिएबल होगा। लेकिन अगर कोई भी ऐसा पॉइंट है जहां पे अपन tangent ड्रॉ नहीं कर सकते हैं, सो वो जो फंक्शन होगा वो उस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट पे डिफरेंशिएबल नहीं होगा। फॉर एग्जांपल, जैसे अगर मैंने ग्राफ ऑफ एफ ऑफ एक्स ड्रॉ किया, इट्स लाइक दिस ग्राफ, यू कैन सी दैट कि ये जो ग्राफ है ये स्मूथ ग्राफ है, हर जगह पे आई कैन इजिली ड्रॉ tangent। मीन्स if you are able to draw tangent at all points throughout the graph, that means f of x is differentiable throughout। लेकिन अगर आपने किसी फंक्शन का ग्राफ ड्रॉ किया एंड द ग्राफ इज लाइक दिस, यू कैन क्लियरली सी दैट कि यहाँ पे ग्राफ जो है, ये जो पॉइंट है हमारा, एट दिस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट द ग्राफ इज टेकिंग अ शार्प टर्न। तो यहाँ पे अपन tangent ड्रॉ नहीं कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज फॉर टू ड्रॉ tangent यू नीड अ स्मूथ सरफेस। So that means अगर ये point x equal to a है, so for this f of x we will say that the function is not differentiable at x equal to a. And why it is not differentiable? Because we won't be able to draw the tangent at x equal to a of the graph. Similarly, you drew a graph and you got a break like this. You can clearly see that कि इस ग्राफ पे, ये पूरे ग्राफ पे अपन कहीं पे भी टेंजेंट ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं, ये पूरे ग्राफ पे अपन कहीं पे भी टेंजेंट ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं. बट अगर इस पॉइंट पे मैं बोलूँ जहाँ पे ग्राफ ब्रेक हो रहा है, वी कैन नॉट ड्रॉ द टेंजेंट. हेंस at this particular point also x equal to a, this particular function f of x is non-differentiable because we cannot draw the tangent. And you can also see that this particular function is not continuous at x equal to a. Hence I can say that कि अगर function जो है वो discontinuous है at particular point, तो उस point पे वो differentiable भी नहीं होगा. Am I clear? Am I clear? I want everyone to respond. Please tell me, am I clear? तो सिंपल सा मतलब इसका वही होता है. यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट इट्स वेरी सिंपल दैट कि अगर अपन उस ग्राफ पे हर जगह टेंजेंट ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं, दैट मीन्स इट्स डिफरेंशिएबल. लेकिन अगर कोई भी ऐसा पॉइंट है जहाँ पे ग्राफ जो है वो शार्प टर्न ले रहा है या फिर ग्राफ में एक ब्रेक आ रहा है, अगर शार्प टर्न ले रहा है या फिर ब्रेक आ रहा है, दैट मीन्स दैट कि उस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट पे अपन टेंजेंट ड्रॉ नहीं कर सकते हैं. Hence, at that particular point, the function is going to be non-differentiable. And another thing you need to understand that if a function is discontinuous at particular point, then it's also going to be non-differentiable at that particular point. Am I clear, guys? So you all need to understand this thing. If you have understood this thing, so this is the condition for differentiability. So basically what we are doing here is that ये जो formula है, this basically tells you the slope of the tangent at x equal to a के लेफ्ट हैंड साइड से जो tangent है और x equal to a के राइट हैंड साइड से जो tangent है, अगर दोनों tangent का gradient equal हो रहा है, इसका मतलब we will be able to draw the tangent. Hence the function will be differentiable at x equal to a. No, guys, my internet is fine. Yeah, guys, my internet is fine. I think those who for whom though my voice is breaking, I think there is problem with your internet. So this is the condition to prove the differentiability of a function. Yes, yes, Rahul. So we'll just do one like very important question. So f of x equal to x square है, and we need to check its differentiability at x equal to 1. So guys, so whoever has attended the class, so I had told you that you all will get some offer on the 95 plus bundle. So you can see this is my 95 plus bundle where you get all of these things, where you get all different type of questions and everything. So those who have attended, so the sale price of the bundle for all of you is 500 rupees, and this offer is valid till 6 p.m. So if you're interested in buying this 95 plus bundle till 6 p.m., you can like message me on Instagram or Telegram or anywhere. So this is the like details where you get like chapter-wise competency-based questions. You get last 15 years ka PYQ, you get MCQs, you get most important and repeated questions, set of 10 sample paper, and you get a revision book where you have all the important formulas of class 11 which you need for class 12 also, and along with the that class 12 ka formulas also. So you get all of these things and it will be delivered on your email. So the sale price for this is 500 rupees. You can just let me know if you want to buy. So yeah, so f of x is equal to x square is differentiable at x equal to 1. So सबसे पहले we have to use this particular formula. So limit h tends to 0 f of 1 plus h minus f of 1 upon h. So limit h tends to 0, तो ये हो जाएगा हमारा 1 plus h का whole square minus 1 square upon h. So right now you can understand that we cannot substitute the limit, because if we substitute it, we will take 0 by 0 form, not which is non like we cannot solve it. So limit h tends to 0. So 1 plus h plus 2h minus 1 upon h. ये plus minus 1 गया. So limit h tends to 0. Now you can take h common, which is 1 plus, okay, sorry, you can directly write it 3h upon h. So h is gone, hence you got the answer as 3. 1 minute. Sorry guys, I messed up. It is 1 plus h square plus 2h. I wrote h before. So you'll get it as 2. Now similarly, we'll find the right hand limit. So limit h tends to 0, left hand limit 1 minus h minus f of 1 upon minus h. So limit h tends to 0, 1 minus h whole square minus 1 square upon minus h. So again we'll use the same method. H tends to 0, 1 plus h square minus 2h minus 1 upon minus h. So this plus minus is gone. I'll get limit h tends to 0. You can take h common. So h minus 2 upon minus h. So this and this is gone. And now when you substitute x equal to 0, you'll get 2. So you can clearly see here that कि इधर भी हमें 2 मिला था और यहाँ भी 2 मिला है. Hence, this particular function is differentiable at x equal to 1. So we have to use this same condition if they're asking you to find the value of a and b, because you will see that a lot of time they ask you to find कुछ लोग यहाँ पढ़ने नहीं आते रक्षित. Yes. तो whenever they're asking you to find the value of a and b, you can basically use the same condition here, and then you can like figure out the value of a and b by equating it. सो होल स्क्वायर कैसे हुआ भाई? बिकॉज यहाँ पे एफ ऑफ एक्स का वैल्यू जो है वो एक्स स्क्वायर है, तो अगर मैं एफ ऑफ वन प्लस एच फाइंड आउट कर रहा हूँ तो इट्स गोइंग टू बी वन प्लस एच होल स्क्वायर ओनली, इसी वजह से वो होल स्क्वायर हुआ है. Yes, guys. So this is all about continuity and differentiability. So I'll post more questions on my Instagram. So I hope your concepts are clear. So if you watch and understand the reels which I post, like I'll try to post like recent continuity and differentiability question from 2025 soon. So from that reel, you can understand how we are going to apply these concepts in the question. It will be very helpful for all of you. And those who want to buy 95 plus bundle, they can DM me on Instagram or they can DM me on Telegram. So the bundle is available at 500 rupees till 6 p.m. guys. Okay guys, so we are done. I'll see you all, and I might need a feedback for my class, so I'll message you all on Telegram. Bye bye guys.
Okay.